Welcome and welcome to the present. Yes, we have Mr. Foster in the building, and I want to say Mr. Dai. I want to call him Dai, and Dai in the building,
Thank you, thank you,
aka
thank you, thank you.
Banter on the pitch. Guys, do us a favor, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you turn on your notification bell. Very imperative. Go and support his channel right there. Say there, Banter on the pitch. Subscribe, like his video, and enjoy his content. For now, Mr. Foster does do content for now. He's just a resident analyst, pro Arsenal. So shout out to you for coming on. So let's get cracking with. Let's start with this. We've seen that the news of Calafiori back to London Coney. I was very kind of surprised why it was held back a little bit. Like, come on, we know that he had that injury. Why did they keep him? And why was it not common sense to just send him back? What do you guys think about that?
Sending him back, and you just don't. I think we also have to, into context. He's under their care while he's playing for his country. He's under the country's care. So, if the first thing that they did when he got injured was sent him back, I would be very upset. I would be very upset because you're saying, okay, you basically allowed him to get injured, or he got injured. It's part of the sport, and you just sent him back to Arsenal to do what? We should fix him. I mean, I think before they send him back, they'll do their own analysis, their own medicals, they'll check, they'll see what it is. At least send him back with some kind of report and say, well, this is what we found out.
Okay.
And this is what has happened. So them keeping him could have been, and you know how medical people are. They'll say, let's give you, when you go to the thing, let's monitor you for 24 hours. Let's see what the outcome is. They may have, try the treatment on him, maybe some spray, whatever, we don't know. They may have iced the leg or whatever it is, the knee, and said, let's see what the scan looks like tomorrow morning. And of course, again, these things like doing a scan and all that, they have to book those in the hospital. It's not like one, like you can't leave the stadium and get a scan right there and then. It's like, okay, take him to work. Yeah. So I feel like there's that period where they were trying to figure out what it was before saying, okay, he needs to head back to London. That's what usually happens. So I'm not really upset at that. What I did like again is his manager, the national team manager, did say Spalletti said it didn't look too bad, but now they're saying it might look bad, and but it is what it is. I mean, they had to do what they had to do in that time. If they had just said, oh, he got rolled off the pitch, put on a plane, sent back to London. Yeah. For what? For like, so you wound the guy and then we should now take responsibility. What kind of
before Enforcer answer, the way I thought was that he can't recover within 72 hours to play their next match. So I'm looking from that context, like, why keep him? Even though I understand that they just throw him, just package. You understand he can't play the next 72 hours, so he should go back to his parent club. Then we can get the required care. That's how I'm seeing at it. Even though I understand that perspective. What do you think, Enforcer?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the way I saw it was, it's good that he was taken back because I don't like when our players go on these international breaks. I know it's part of football, but I don't like the international breaks. I don't watch international breaks. I just leave it to chance, whatever happens during the international break, because I feel the quality has reduced. The idea for me is he was having an excellent game, got injured. For me, that's one of the most cynical injuries someone can ever get from a guy that we know he's very, very familiar with the injury table, Dembele. Then, getting his calf injured. It's a good thing he limped off himself. The reason I didn't want him there was if he's there, they will be tempted to play him. Now, we also, yesterday he didn't train, which I understand. I mean, during some injuries, you don't allow some players train. They're not going to go through heavy training. But I'm happy he has gone back to the Colney. For me, even if they sent him back and we know that, okay, fine, the manager said it's not serious, I just think there are a lot of fans on the internet who are so scared about any little thing. I'll be like, oh, there's an injury. This is a chance for, your brother Troops to come and blame Edu again and say Edu did not do enough. So for me, I'm happy he has gone back so they won't have the choice to even play him. So let him be there for the week.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. I hear that as well. The temptation to want to play a player. But of course, the most important thing about any injury is the fact that when somebody gets injured, you at least need that 24, 48 hours, or even some 2 hours of analyze, making sure that you monitor them. Because some injuries in the next 48 hours, you see that, okay, this one he might be able to recoup on time, and then we just need to do this and do this and do this, instead of just immediately saying, all right, go back here. Because I know it sounds, people don't take into consideration this type of things, but ask anybody who's gotten on a plane when they're sick how they feel in high altitudes, or when you're injured. The way pain feels when you're in high altitude, when you're injured, is very, very different pain. It's very different.
I get it. It's my Arsenal bias that's getting the better of me thinking about it properly, because I'm like, just let him go back to London, Coney. My personal opinion, we have better doctors than the international team. That's what I just think. That might not be factual, but I think we have better doctors, and we can give him the appropriate care. And the most important thing, I said, I don't want the temptation of Spalletti playing him again. So we can patch him up. And no. The North London derby is coming very imminently. The battle at the MTR. I'm like, no, just put him on the plane. I said, but I see what Mr. Darius is saying regarding let's monitor him for a little bit, and I see that perspective too. Let's say that.
Yeah, I go with that, because I was watching this the highlights of England versus Ireland. There was a way they whacked Saka from the ground. And the funny thing, whenever I see those kinds of injuries, especially during international break, I always just think, my God, I know England, they will if they have the chance to use Saka and take away his black color and use him to the point where he bleaches, they will do that.
You underestimate how strong. You underestimate how strong Saka is. I think we underestimate how strong our players are. Sometimes you look at.
Saka
I think
is also unbelievably strong. Like extremely.
It's not just him. It's not just him. We look at our players, right?
Yeah.
And I think we, the fans, look at them as, oh, that kick, and the way the club looks at them is as an asset. The Gabriel Jesus so-called injury, medically he can play, but they don't want to. He's an asset. They just don't want to play.
For now,
so these are things that they factor into it. For them, it's like, this is a $50 million property here. This is $100 million here, £100 million that they're looking at. They're not ready to take any risk. And when we see Saka getting knocked down and standing up, that boy is durable, man. The boy is very strong. I think we underestimate him.
The power
we
of
underestimate him. We underestimate our players. I'm telling you, we underestimate. Kai Havertz, unbelievably
definitely strong. Of course, it's true.
But he looks like a very lean,
very frail,
like somebody frail-looking human being.
Natural fitness.
Yeah, but you run into that guy, you know that he's strong.
Yeah,
and you can tell.
Very durable. He played all the games aside from the one he missed against West Ham. He played every single game last season. That's on that level of durability. Him and Declan Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, very durable player, and I love that, because if you look at our history of Nasri, of Leb, Rosicky, those frail players we had in the past, we have been traumatized. So excuse me sometimes if I fall back to the past trauma. So
PTSD is real.
I'm telling you, it's real. So, guys, do us a favor if you are the building. Guys, do us a favor. Strike the like button. It's very, very imperative, guys. Strike the like button. It doesn't cost you much to strike the like button. Subscribe to the channel, especially Banter on the Pitch Riders. Subscribe and enjoy his content and like the videos. Very, very important. So, the North London Derby is approaching, even though the second batch of the international matches are going. North London Derby is approaching. I think we're playing on Sunday, right? I think we're playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll be visiting the den of these clowns. Let's start from Declan Rice missing that match. Would you expect to replace Declan Rice in that midfield?
It's Jorginho. We don't have anybody else but Jorginho.
Do you think we don't have anybody else but Jorginho? Kai can play in the midfield.
I can play Kai in the midfield, but I wouldn't do that when Kai is fine and all cylinders up front. Why would I want to do that? Like, I would rather. Because here's the thing, even Jorginho as an 8 would work and Partey as a 6. So that now gives me another person who knows how to break the lines with his passes. Jorginho, he doesn't need to do box-to-box for me on that 8. I don't really need him to do that. I'll play Partey as a 6, and if Calafiori is great, I'll play Calafiori in left back so that he can invert and double pivot with Partey, or I'll play Timber and he can double pivot with Partey in that midfield. And then, and if I wanted to play even triple pivot If Calafiori is well, I'll play Calafiori left back and I'll play Timber right back. I'll rest Ben
Right
White.
back.
So those two can invert, which will allow Partey push up down the middle a little bit further to assist Jorginho. So both of them will be my false eights, just be going and coming. Jorginho can break the line to passes. Odegaard on the right-hand side doing what he does best with those passes. And we've got Timber who can overlap there with Saka, giving him that underlap and overlap. So I think, Kai in midfield, for me, I would not risk it again. We've seen what that is like. He can play in midfield, but then what happens is he's not as effective up front anymore.
I see the way you explained it, right? You explained it optimistically for Arsenal, right? So if you invert and they have speedy wingers, decide to stretch the play.
If you're stretching the play, you're stretching the play with two. I have two fullbacks that are very fast and also very, very, very agile. So I'm talking Timber and Calafiori. If you stretch the play, which is great. Second thing is, remember, what's his name? Ange Postecoglou, the stubborn manager. He plays the high line all the time. He had 9 players on the pitch last season and he played the high line. That guy does not want to learn. He's not going to learn. And I'm not trying to diss him. No. But this is, you've seen him do it. They lost to Newcastle. I watched that game. Why? I had to go back and rewatch it again. The same thing. So if you play a high line, with Arsenal, I know everybody's saying Declan Rice. Yes, this is why I'm happy about our bench. This is why I like what we have now. We have a thinner squad, but we have quality of players who can come in and get the job done now. If you play a high line, then if I play Martinelli first half and he's not giving me we have Raheem Sterling he still has pace.
Yeah.
You play a high line and we drop the ball in front of Raheem Sterling to run at you're done. And if I really wanted to drive, I know it's going to be a risk if I say it, but people will think I'm crazy. But if not because Martinelli hasn't been on form this season so far, like he's played okay for me. If Martinelli was playing like the Martinelli of 2 seasons ago,
that would
with this high line, I would play Martinelli on the left and I'd play Raheem Sterling on the right. I'd rest Bukayo Saka. I'll play 2 pacey wingers.
Yes.
Without your high line, you're finished. You're finished. There's no this thing about it. That's what I would have done. But I know we'll play Saka on the right, and then I'll play on the left. Honestly, for this match, I think I'd start at Raheem Sterling. I'll let him run them ragged a bit, run at the defenders, tire them out, then probably bring in Martinelli or Leandro Trossard. In fact, Leandro Trossard, who I know is not clinical. The defender is tired. All he needs to do, he doesn't need to speed too much.
Into those boxes, into those spaces.
Those spaces, find the spaces and use it. But my left back and right back would be Calafiori and Timber this time around. I'd rest Ben White. Because at any point, I can ask either one of them to invert and play a double pivot in my 6.
Wouldn't that also be dangerous? Because one reason why I feel Tottenham has a huge issue is when both players invert and they're high line. You also have to look at the left back and right back in Udogie and whoever plays left wing.
Poro.
I don't know who. Okay, Udogie and Son double up on one side. Then you have Poro and either maybe Odobe or this guy. Don't you think it will be problematic? Or Timo Werner, it will be problematic if you go with 2 fullbacks.
No. So here's the thing about the 2 fullbacks that will invert. They're not inverting at the same time. At any given time when we need to progress the ball, if I'm progressing through the left, then I'll have my left fullback invert. My right fullback will stay where he is. So I'll play back 3, and then you can invert double pivot with my number 6, and then we can push up the line. If we are on the other side, which is where the ball is, then you drop back and you can invert. And the reason I say Timber and Calafiori, both of them have the capacity. We've seen them play. We now know that both players there can literally invert. They're very good at inverting. Calafiori is good at driving the ball up. So is also Timber, and they're good at carrying the ball. So for me, if we're coming in from the right, we have the capacity to be able to do that, which allows Bukayo Saka to hog the wings up in front, and just hold that wing and be able to do cutbacks and crossings. So I know there will be. It is dangerous, but the thing is, they like to play a high line. We just have to play our game that suits us. Now that we don't have Declan, who is going to play a box-to-box 8 for us, somebody who's going to be running and helping out in defense. I don't want to leave Thomas Partey alone as the lone 6, and I would not leave Jorginho alone as the lone 6 as well.
That's
You
very
know, so
precarious. We saw an example last season. We saw an example last season. So
I would need somebody to invert. I would need somebody to invert at any given time. So it's something that they work on in training. It's like, okay, when you have the ball here, okay, here's the trigger. When Gabriel has the ball, Calafiori, you're inverting. When Saliba is the one that gets the ball from the goalie first, it's Timber, you're the one who's going to invert. It's like you can have these triggers like from the very get-go. When this person gets the ball, you know who's inverting. You know who drops back and who goes. So it becomes a very methodical thing at the back there so that you don't lose. So even when they try to double up on you, at least, you know, if you're trying to double up, say Pedro, Son and Udogi running up that channel there, he's already inverting. First and foremost, Saka, everybody has to help with defending. So Saka is tracking back with them as well on that whole wing, on that right wing. And then Timber is just falling back in, which allows Saliba to come back to the middle, you know, create your space, but don't be too far from each other type of thing. So, yeah, I think that's how I would set them up. I don't have any, like, I can't risk Itanu Maniri right now as an 8, not in the North London derby. I would still like to play him as an 8. I would like to play him in one of the League Cups or the FA Cup and see what he's, you know, what we can do with him. Yeah, but not in the North London derby. And if at any reason, you know, we've not scored by the 65th minute, you know, up front, I have options. You know, there's Gabby Jesus and there's I've got Jesus and I've also got Raheem Sterling to come in if need be up front. So yeah,
so
the trust is there.
What Dio explained, right? Is very succinct on paper, right? He's very good on paper, but I also sometimes that Jorginho will be targeted. We've seen that certain games they love to target Jorginho as much as Jorginho is smart mentally, right? But his feet are not actually interpreting the stimuli from the brain as quick as it should be doing. So as much as I would have considered playing Jorginho, I think I will still push Jesus up front and play Kai for that match at the midfield. But what does I have to say? Maybe before Dio rebuttals what I just said.
No, I understand where Dio came from. If I'm looking at Jorginho, right, well, that was why I asked the question of, you know, both fullbacks if we're using inverted fullbacks, because there is a thing that we might miss, and I don't want to miss the trick. I'm looking at where, you know, you can lose the ball, right? But where you lose the ball is the most important thing. If both players, if one inverts, we have to think, if Jorginho loses the ball, and let's assume Calafiori is already high up the pitch, we are susceptible to counters because Jorginho doesn't have the, what do they call it?
The pace.
The legs to get back in time. Yes, it's not like compared to a Rice where he's more of an engine. So Jorginho doesn't have that. And if we remember last season in the North London derby, we remember immediately we scored that penalty. We conceded because of Jorginho, where he lost the ball. I know he was rusty when he came on. It was unfortunate. But no matter how we want to look at it, I think why I would have preferred Kai is just because of the endurance and the ability to play in midfield and the ability to run. Then I'm now looking at it and saying, if I'm still looking at the number 9 position, his ability to run in behind, because if they play that high line, obviously they will not be able to pick Kai Havertz out because he will just go sting. And for me, I think he will have multiple one-on-one situations, if everything, because I remember, like Dio said, the pass that, if you watch the Newcastle game, it took just one pass.
One pass.
That was what decided the game. And that pass was from deep. Yes. So I'm looking at Kai and I'm thinking he's playing in front of goal, everything. I would still want it. But then again, in midfield, if I'm going with Jorginho, I'm still thinking Jorginho.
Here's my rebuttal to this. My rebuttal is this, Efosa. Why not play to what we're strongest at? Our defense is our strongest strength.
Yeah.
So why not play to our defense and allow our defenders to be able to assist our midfield? Since we're short in the midfield now, Marino is injured. We don't have Declan Rice because of a red card. So why not play to our strength? Now they like to play a high line. if we play a very, very solid back four with a player that can invert and assist Jorginho, which is why I said Jorginho will be my 8. Remember I said that when I started. I said Jorginho is the one that'll push higher up. So if Jorginho loses the ball higher up, my inverted left back is the person you're coming to meet as a defender. You're coming to meet a natural defender if you loses the ball, which is better for me. I'm not asking my defender to go high up the pitch. Like for this game, I'll play to my strength. I would more or less rather have my defenders playing as my 6, while my pseudo 6, Jorginho, who can break lines, moves further up, with Partey also moving further up. So that Partey still has a bit of legs. He can always come back and drop in with either Timber or either Calafiori, depending on if both of them are available. So I'm playing to my strength, because one thing I know is this: we can score from multiple ways. Most people are looking for an open goal for us. Like, Arsenal are not scoring enough open goals. It's not by open goals only. We need a few corner kicks. We need a few set pieces here and there, and we can find the back of the net. I know that the goals are not the issues. The issue is us not conceding to them, and not conceding to them. And they're very susceptible to set pieces. Tottenham are terrible.
Very sloppy goalkeeper.
Yeah, they're very terrible at taking care, except maybe they've trained for it. No, they may have. It's not impossible. I mean, we worked on our set pieces and became good at it. So
those guys are not trained. For me, but you mentioned something, and Postecoglou is stubborn. I remember I was telling Solomon at the beginning. I said this guy won't change. He said never. I said I don't know. I was watching. I didn't watch the video. It was a cut scene from a full maybe analysis of Tottenham's loss to Newcastle, and some Tottenham fans were voicing it that, and there was a guy, Henry. You know Henry. Henry said he doesn't expect Ange Postecoglou to still be at Tottenham in December. You understand? I'm looking at Tottenham, right? And I'm always, last season when they were saying, they wanted to kill us, we didn't
escaped by the whiskers.
Play football. I was not looking at them and I was not thinking, are you stupid or something? Yeah, we're leading 3-0. Yeah, all be 2 set pieces and another on a counter. But I'm looking at their team. You're looking at someone like Van der Ven, good defender, right? But Postecoglou's style brings out Van der Ven's, in my opinion, weakness in terms of his hamstring. How many times are you going to tear the hamstring for you to still be a quality player?
Which is why I said
Van der Ven has all his injuries.
Yeah. Which is why I said, you're right, Efosa. Which is why I said Ange Postecoglou has a good style. Let's not diminish the style that the man has as a manager. Yeah. The problem is he doesn't have the players to execute what he really wants to do. I keep telling people that if Ange Postecoglou had a Saliba and a Gabriel in his defense, if he had a Saliba and a Gabriel in his defense, we would be in trouble. If they played for Tottenham, we would be in trouble.
Because I understand what you're saying, right? But
I don't think
it's like me saying, like what you're saying. That I can put it this way. Okay, finish. What you're saying is it's like me saying I have a Toyota, but I want to drive my Toyota like a Ferrari. I don't have a Ferrari.
So instead of that, just get rid of the Toyota and go get a Ferrari.
But you can't afford it.
No, they can afford it, but the owners are not willing to give him that. Like, here's the thing about the owners of Tottenham. They're not buying him the quality players that he wants. And sadly, I think he's also picking these players. They have spent almost 400 million as well in the last 2 seasons, right? So for them to sit down there and say, they haven't spent money is a lie. They spent almost 400 million. They just haven't bought the quality that they need for the style that the manager wants to play. That's where the issue is with Tottenham.
But can I say this? I don't think, for me, this is where I have misgivings about Tottenham, right? I just feel they bought horribly. We all can say you don't have the quality, but let's be realistic. First of all, right, I'm not buying Brennan Johnson for £15 million. I don't know who sanctioned that transaction. You understand? I'm not buying Brennan Johnson for 15 million. He's not worth 15 million. Yeah, you understand? I'm okay. I understand Maddison. You understand? I can say Maddison, yes. But Van der Ven, we are looking at Van der Ven, right? I don't think Dragoshin is a horrible defender as he's made to look. I feel sometimes, right, we all can see Udogie is good, Pedro Porro, those are technical defenders. But in as much as we say quality, I was having a conversation with my friend as a Manchester United fan, and we're talking about
quality.
Arteta, and he was telling me something because I was telling him, yeah, continue.
No, go on. No, finish.
Sorry for the lag.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said something. He said, we could see when Arteta didn't have some players at the beginning, Arteta resorted to doing something, which was control. Let's control the amount of chances we concede. Then we bring in some certain players. We don't need to have everything, but we would have a certain level of, execution.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at Tottenham, right, I'm looking at their backline. Their backline boasts of speed, and Postecoglou is depending more on the speed of the team rather than also thinking, okay, defensively without the ball, how do we act? I've not seen Postecoglou because we can all say they don't have quality players. They may not have quality players, but their players aren't atrocious. We can look at Emery. In as much as I want to say, Emery this. When we played Emery, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I hear you.
So please do continue.
Yeah, I hear you on the quality players. I think maybe let me qualify by saying this: the players are good. They don't fit the style that Ange Postecoglou wants to play.
Right.
These are good players that probably would. That's why I gave the example of if they had like a Gabriel and Saliba as their defenders, right? If you gave this Arsenal team, right, to Ange Postecoglou, and we played that high line like we played 2 seasons ago. Remember how we played 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
Gun hole football from the first half of the season. We camped in everybody's half.
It's half.
we
pressed you inside.
We literally lived. That's what he plays. Yeah. And we had the capacity to play because we had the players that could execute that style the way we wanted it. We had defenders that could recover on time. Even though from the halfway line, last ditch tackles, we had people that could do that. They don't, barring Van der Ven, they don't have any defender that can do that. Yeah. Romero cannot be at the center of the pitch and track back that quickly. If the ball is played over, yes. So I'm saying that these are good players. Romero is a good defender. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's the best in the world, but he is a good player. Udogie is a good player. Pedro Porro is a good player. They just don't suit the style that Ange Postecoglou plays. That's where the issue is. Paying 50 million for Brendan Johnson, I hear you. I would not pay that, but this market is ridiculous. When they are telling me to pay 40 million for Amoro Dion that played 9 games and play 45 million for Duran, Aston Villa that played 1.5 games.
I will say that's sport washing. That kind of views are looking at.
It's just basically where the market is at right now, financially, like money-wise when played. So it's not. I hear that there may not be the value, but that's what the market requires. So.
But mine is, for a team like Tottenham, Brennan Johnson is supposed to be a bench player. You understand? Brennan Johnson is supposed to be a bench player. And that's would I say my misgiving with Brennan Johnson. Because when I brought in Brennan Johnson, all I know Brennan Johnson does is get to the just cut back. I can't remember the last time I saw him beating his man. I can't remember the last time I saw him do something that would say, okay. And you're supposed to be a first team player. Now you look at someone like Kulusevski, which I would also admit to a very good extent. Some of the players don't fit the style because now you look at some of them saying Kulusevski is better off as a 10. So you now be wondering, okay, what happens to James Maddison? Because when the argument of Maddison is better than Odegaard came up, and all of a sudden we all know how the argument ended. It just faded away. You understand? So for me, I think I'm not saying Postecoglou doesn't want to play that style, but we have to be Postecoglou, even if he had all his players, Postecoglou will still be smashed. Because one thing that people forget is when we played that football that we were gung-ho, we could make last-ditch tackles, but the amount of chances we give other teams was something that I felt I wanted to reduce. Last season, there was a very important thing I looked towards. And for me, what I saw that was more important than us holding the ball, than us progressing the ball, was how teams progress the ball against us. I felt that was unbelievably important because not many teams could progress the ball against us. And I felt that was our greatest strength. And I still think this season, that's still our greatest strength. Because even when we were down to 10 men down to Brighton, we still observed that Brighton couldn't carve us open to say they carved us open so much that, they had so many chances. So I feel Postecoglou, regardless of what he plays, because of what he sticks to, would still have this problem of conceding sloppy goals.
Well, I hear that, but like I said, maybe if the quality of the players suit, because when you have the players that suits your style, you've told them when you get to this point, gun ho, go score. Yeah. When you lose the ball, drop back. All of you, a lot of these players in Tottenham don't have it in them to do that back and forth like we did like 2 seasons ago. So so I would still put it on the fact that, yes, maybe when he has the quality of players that he needs, then I'll judge his style fully. Because right now, I see that
is that not you being overly benevolent towards him? Because, like as I mentioned, sometimes no manager will have the coach of players he wants 100%. So you have to improvise using them and adjust. But it's like you're overly being too gracious to Postecoglou. Adapt what you have. You have to adapt what you have.
Well, I hear you. Adaptation is he's something that he needs to. Like I said he's stubborn, and I'm just basing it on the fact that I've already checked it, put a check mark that this man is a stubborn man. So let's just the day he's going to be super successful is the day he has all his players. That's just it. There's no other this thing about it. That's the only way he's going to have all his players for him to be a successful manager. And because he doesn't change his style, he doesn't change his in-game management. This guy had 9 players at the point on the pitch. I still played a high line with 9 players. I was like, when are you going to make substitutions and tell people to drop back? Like, what are you doing?
Let me ask you. Do you think if you give Postecoglou £500 million right now, he would get the right set of players? Based off of the antecedent of previous signings that you've seen, do you think Postecoglou
the signings? So the signings, I can't. The sports director at Tottenham, the scouts at Tottenham, the people who actually are the ones who are bringing out the list of players, are the guys I'm going to hold responsible. I hear people when they blame Edu in Arsenal for stuff, and I just smile and laugh, and I'm like, you guys have no idea that Edu doesn't even sign the checks. Like, Edu does not negotiate. Edu can talk money with you verbally, but it comes back to what's his name, Gaelic or whatever. Yeah, Gaelic or whatever. Yeah. So his name and the whole law team who are going to now draft contract, and the agents that have lawyers, and all these people are going back and forth, and it's a whole thing that fans don't even really put context around. They just say it's Edu's fault, and I just laugh.
They don't want to know. They don't want to know. Some of these fans, they want to hide under that plausible deniability that they don't know.
Of course, someone has to be held responsible.
No, of course, I get that, but at the end of the day, it is so. Yeah. I would say, like, if I give him 500 million, would he get the players he wants? I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just saying the style that he plays, attacking football that he plays, is a very dangerous one. If you are not good, they will kill you. Tottenham can score 3-4 goals against any team that allows them carve them open. The problem they have is they don't have the capacity to drop back and defend the way they attack. Sadly, so with us, we are a team that now just dominates the ball. It's like, just dominate them. Hold the ball, pressure them, dominate them. The goals will come. We score multiple ways, so the goals will come. So I'm not worried about that. So this not London Derby, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
So if I press both of you, are you guys optimistic about a win?
Oh, 2-0.
Wow.
Clean sheet.
Yeah, I am.
I love it.
2-0 clean sheet.
Yeah, I love a clean sheet.
2-0 clean sheet. I've guaranteed 2-0 clean sheet this time around.
I would love more goals. Maybe like 4 would be enough, because I'm tired of their fans.
I think I was leaning towards 4-1.
No, I'll say 2-0 for me, clean sheet. I think we can do it. This will be our what? This will be our one. This will be our 196 game with Tottenham in total, and if we win this is about 83rd win over them. So we have more wins. They have 55 draws, and I think they have 61 wins in total since we started playing as league clubs. But if we count all the games we played against Tottenham, even before league starts, even before we became league clubs, it's 209 games. And I think we've won way more at that with 87 or 89, I think, but roughly right around there. So for me, I'm just counting our overall win forever and ever. All this nonsense I'm making noise. Let me add win 83 on it now. Check mark.
Yeah, I think we are going to put them to the sword there. They just like to yap, and I think we'll win. I think we'll win well. We'll win well, and go with the flow. You're in the building. Don't worry. Like I always tell you, we are coming to the empty yard. We'll empty it there.
Yeah, after them. Now, next.
No, don't worry about it. See, we were doing the stream with Igal earlier today, and the Tottenham fan kept on saying, "Oh, after this Tottenham game, you guys have Man City at the Etihad, Man City at the Etihad," and I simply just said, "I'm not afraid of Man City at the Etihad."
No,
and he said, and the Man City fan said, "What?" I said, "Yes, I'm not afraid of you anymore at the Etihad."
Yeah.
He said, "You're not afraid of Man City." I said, "Listen, I played you 3 times last season. You didn't beat me once. You didn't beat me once last season. So let me tell you what that has done to me.
Did they even score?
That's what I'm saying. It's made me realize that
they only score.
It's made me realize that I can beat you.
Sure.
That's what it's made me realize. So the original fear of, it's Etihad, it's City back in the day 2-3 seasons ago, that fear is no longer there anymore for me.
Iggy is always very, very panicky. Don't worry, Iggy. We'll do what we do at
Tottenham are always tough at their place. Every game is tough, my brother. Every game is tough.
Exactly.
The difference is we're emotional about the Tottenham game because it's a derby. But just there's extra emotions. And they're always look, this is what another thing that I have come to finalize in my mind. In the last 10 years, we had not beaten Tottenham at their home up until 2 seasons ago. We had not beaten them at their home at the new stadium up until 2 seasons ago. And that had a psychological effect on our team. The minute we broke it 2 seasons ago, that was it. And that's the exact same thing that happened with City. I believe that we'll play City, no matter what it is, it will always be close margins now. It will never be that 4-1 victory that City had. It's always going to be close margins now.
When I look at our back line, when I look at our defenders, it gives me a lot of reassurance. when I look at our defenders individually and collectively,
I'm just waiting for. Let me tell you the full team I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this is the team I want to play one day against any team. I don't care who it is. I want to play Calafiori, left back, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, right? In front of them, I want to play Rice, Merino, and Odegaard. 2 dual winning machines in front of that back 4. With Odegaard in the pockets doing the miracle. Merino is going to win, and Merino wins majority of his duels up on the front of the pitch, on the high end of the pitch. He doesn't he does win his duels down here, but majority of the duels he won last season was in that 8th role, like crashing the box as well. He knows how to do it, carrying the ball. So then on the wings, if and when I see him play in Arsenal colors, if he's doing well, I don't know why I still feel like Raheem Sterling on the left-hand side, there's something about to happen. Okay. And the reason I say this is he's experienced in the Prem. He knows these teams, and he's played against some of these players. In his worst season at Chelsea last season, he scored 8 goals and gave 4 assists.
In the horrible Chelsea,
in a horrible Chelsea side. Yeah. If we had Raheem Sterling last season and he gave us 8 goals and 4 assists last season, we win the league.
Win the league. Yeah.
We win the league. So my thing is the contributions that he's able to make. And this is exactly. So him on the left-hand side, Bukayo Saka definitely on the right-hand side. I'm not mincing words. That's my boy. He has to play that wing. And then just down that middle, just give me Kai Havertz with his work rate. The goals will come. Give me with his work rate. The goals will come.
The only part I do not agree with that is I'll play Partey and Moreno. Because when I see Partey and Moreno in that midfield,
Partey and Moreno elite.
I'm not say people might not agree. Even I might not agree with me. I just think
I see it
is a Busquets. I'm not saying that's good at Busquets. The way I see Moreno maneuver the ball, it reminds me of how Busquets used to maneuver the ball in that midfield. Not just pass for sake of passing.
With his long legs.
Oh Lord, it is seductive. It's like a beautiful woman when I see the way he maneuvers the ball and his choice of passing, he thinks before he does it. So
Exactly.
I prefer Partey and Moreno because
I hear that's a shout for it. I hear that as well. The reason I said I would do Rice and Merino is because of their dual winning abilities, both of them.
But we possess the ball most of the time. So
I agree. I agree, but which also means that when we don't possess the ball, I want people that can win it up high up, like catch them there, win it high up, limit the amount of chances that they even get at shooting towards us. So at this point, what we then have is Rice knows how to crash the box, so does Merino as well. If we then play a high line and we have I have maybe a Timber inverting, and then I have a back three of Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori, I can allow the likes of Merino and Rice go crash the box. If we lose the ball there, these two are engines. They know how to run back quick. That's why I said I would play that, because if we go high up and we lose it, Partey's speed back is not
he still has it. He still has
it. I said, but it's not. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying it's not. Partey and Rice, who's faster tracking back?
Definitely Rice. Rice is
Merino and Partey. We've seen Merino play. I've watched a few of his games.
I think Merino is not very, very quick. He just knows how to do himself.
But he's also slightly quicker than Thomas Partey right now.
We'll find out. We'll find out once they start playing. No, I don't think Moreno is a slouch. I don't think he's overly quick, but it's not a slouch.
No, that's I'm not saying he's a speed. Like I'm just saying I would play.
Yeah.
The difference is not a lot. The difference is not a lot. But I would play my fastest guys who can recover the ball as well. And that way, if we're high up and we lose it, they can recover quickly. And if we're not high up and we're advancing the ball, I know that even if we lose it, they can win the ball high up real quick. Both of them know how to win the ball really well. So Partey knows how to do that, but the first few games I've seen him, he's lost the ball a few times. He's missed a bit. They've pressed Partey and Partey has lost the ball a couple of times. I'm not saying that it's his fault or anything. Of course, coming back from a long-term injury like that, it will take some time to acclimatize.
Get back to the top level.
I agree with that. I'm not blaming him for it. I just know that right now, as of now, if I needed to play a stronger team against, that's what I would do. That's how I would play.
It's great that we're actually going back and forth with the quality of players we have in a team, which is great. And
if Rice is not doing the job, and I bring in Thomas Partey in the second half,
so that's
why
great.
not? Imagine being able to have the luxury of bringing in Thomas Partey for Rice, or bringing in Merino for this is what I've been asking for. At this point, we can look at the bench and say there's quality.
Definitely,
and that's important.
Yeah.
So the last time you were here, Dayo, we spoke about the objective for this season, and you said it's a must now. Even though we love Arteta, he has to win a trophy. I understand the sentiment. If I say it's not a must, people think I'm downsing my standard for the club. I'm not saying that. I think he has to win a trophy, but like you said, if he does win a trophy, maybe you might just say, "Thank you very much, Mr. Arteta. You've done your part. It's time to go." Fosa is in the building. Fosa, do you agree with that sentiment? Mr. Dayo is putting out about if Arteta doesn't win a trophy this season.
I don't.
So you're lagging it.
My reason for not going with that sentiment was
okay.
Oh, sorry. Am I okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Nigeria's internet. So my reason for because I've analyzed people saying, "Oh, we have to win a trophy." I think it's when people say that we have to win this trophy because a lot of fans now go and look at Manchester United, for example, because let's be realistic. You see, but Manchester United won the Carling Cup. Manchester United won the Sorry for the lag. So now I'm looking at Manchester United. I said it 2 seasons ago when they won the Carling Cup. There was one thing people missed. Now, Manchester United didn't play any tough team to the final. You understand? So not playing any tough team to the final. Let's be realistic. The toughest team you had to play was Newcastle in the final. You played every scrub that existed under the sun, and the second toughest was Nottingham Forest, which we knew home and away Manchester United were going to conquer them. So Manchester United winning that trophy didn't mean that Manchester United, Ten Hag is, is what Ten Hag does everywhere he goes around, he wins trophies, that stupid sentiment that people throw around. I'm looking at Arteta and I'm saying, if I'm looking at how we've gone out, let's say crashed out of the Carling Cup and the FA Cup, we can all agree that the quality of the squad we've had over those years and the teams we've lost to, we could say that yes, that was expected. We lost to Brighton 2 seasons ago, where this guy was our goalkeeper, Kalheim. And for me, he had a howler that evening because some goals we conceded, my God. So we lost 3-1 and we didn't take our chances on the other side. Then I'm now looking last season, we played West Ham away. West Ham away is a tough proposition for anybody. So we didn't use our full squad. Now, last season we still played what did they call it? Liverpool. We lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup last season. We lost to Manchester City in the FA Cup 2 seasons ago. These are basically the 2 toughest teams in England right now. And it's not as if, the game against Liverpool, I don't know how we didn't win. That was unfortunate. The game against Manchester City, it was fine margins. Ake took his goal and that was what it was. Ortega was the man of the match on the day. I'm now looking at it and people will come and say, yes, we have to concentrate on the FA Cup. It would behoove people to say that, to look and say, but what about Manchester City? It's funny that most people say, look at who Manchester City have. KDB came to Manchester City when Arteta was still a player for us. He wasn't even a manager, a player. So KDB has been there, and what they call it, Rodri had been, not Rodri, Fernandinho, Sterling, that is for us now, was a player at Manchester City when Arteta was still a player for us. So they have had those years where they brought in super quality players that have been able to be there. Bernardo Silva has been there for long. All these guys have been there. And it's funny that people are saying, we should compete against Manchester City. And let's not mince our words here. We know people will say alleged that Manchester City have, what do they call it? 115 charges. We know there was an alleged sport washing involved. Even the guy that leaked the news said if he leaks the next set of files, Manchester City will be relegated. That was what he said. So we are now looking at things and now expecting that, Arteta, you've not won it against these guys. I'm looking at the margins. It's easy for Chelsea to get to a semi-final of the FA Cup because they don't have anything to play for. Manchester United will get to the final of an FA Cup because that is everything they have. It's easier, when you have so much to lose, you're not going to say you're going to go gongo. It's more like you say you want to fight someone naked. It's, and you want to wear clothes. Be ready for a disgrace because you guys. So that's what. So I'm looking at Manchester United. I'm not allowing their fans gaslight me.
Your mic.
That
sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
No
Efosa, I agree with you. I agree with your sentiments. What I was saying and what I was telling Solomon was that I love this club so much. I see it as a business. If I put a CEO in charge and the goal is to make 100 million and he keeps making 90 million, and we're not profitable, maybe we need another CEO to get us 100 million. No sentiments. Thank you for the job you've done. I appreciate all the hard work and all we need is this 10 million to become successful. Yes, take the trophy, take the League Cups and the FA Cup seriously by playing not Kalheim but playing Raya. If that is where we're going, like play your best team and go out there. And the reason I say this,
did that.
Hold on. See, the reason I say this is because this crop of players going a third time now against City. If we don't win anything this season, remember the psyche begins to affect the players too. Are we not good enough? Because once your players when your players start to think, are we not good enough? When they start to think every year we keep going, we're always this close. Maybe I go somewhere else and win. Maybe it's time for me to start seeing if I can.
No, but for me, I feel if you're asking yourself that question,
which is why I said which is why I'm saying. Which is why I'm saying that. No, think about it from this perspective, right? if you put a Saka on the bench and then you go on and you play a Pentbury, or you go and play Charlton Athletic in the Carabao Cup, and you put Saka on the bench and we lose that game. And Saka is saying to himself, if I had played, this is a game that we could have gotten, I would have done the best that I could to score, win. Let's win a trophy. Saka ends the season without a trophy again. You think that it's not a case of the player now thinking, what's going on here? When am I going to lift something? All of this hard work, all of this training, all of this improvement, consistently scoring goals, doing 20 plus GA. Leandro Trossard saying, I'm coming in and saving every game when nobody has scored. It begins to affect players too. And I hear you on that, which I said for me, I'm not sentimental about the people at the club. I'm sentimental about the club as a whole. So for me, the key thing is, what can we do now to start winning trophies? Because last season, 89 points, 91 goals, 29 goals conceded, mad goals difference, win 28 games, draw 5, lose 5 is enough to win a league. And if we're putting up a league winning numbers and not winning the league, we need to reevaluate. Because honestly speaking, imagine the players are like, what else do we need to do? Do we need to get 114 points? Do we need to beat everybody in the league 38 games and go unbeaten? Because it's crazy when you're putting up numbers that should make you a champion.
Me, the reason why we all saw Real Madrid, right? Because Real Madrid didn't win the champ. You remember, Real Madrid didn't win the Champions League how many times? I remember when Mesut Ozil was there, they got to the semi-finals twice under Jose Mourinho. So trophies need to start coming in. But my personal thought process is, who is better than me apart from Manchester City? That's the main thing. Are you telling me Ronaldo would have given up how many years ago because he didn't win in the Champions League?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But the difference is this: Madrid. Madrid as a club
against Manchester City. I think people need
to. They lag.
From what I'm saying is, people need to understand. If I'm a player coming, if I'm a player coming to play for Arsenal, I have to understand I'm coming up against Manchester City. Number one. Number two, if I'm looking at everything, there's no way Liverpool right now, if they were in their sane mind, even if they were coming second, ever thought that Jurgen Klopp, they had to replace him. Because we are being realistic here. Who is better than what we have? That's my own question. The problem is not getting the CEO. Who is better? Because I'm not looking at...
When I say CEO, I was referring to Arteta as the CEO. That's what I meant by as the person in charge. So and if you say who is better, here's the thing about it. Sometimes you might not even have to qualify the person that is better by how good they are. It might just be a change in style or a change in new manager bounce. We saw Leicester come into the league and win it in 2015. It wasn't like the manager was better than all the managers in the league. No, it just was a thing that was meant to happen. We've seen.
Can we argue that was just a fluky season?
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
All the top clubs were just poor that season. Can we agree
My
to
point
that?
We can agree to that, but at the same time, they did what they needed to do to win the games. Regardless, they played their strongest team consistently throughout that whole season, and I can. I'm not saying that.
No, but that's the problem. Sorry for cutting you short.
No, go on.
But what I'm trying to say is this: I've always said this, right? The reason Arsene Wenger didn't win more trophies wasn't the fact that Arsene Wenger was not fantastic. Arsene Wenger was a splendid manager. But sometimes I think there needs to be a marriage of, I always say there needs to be a marriage of a wonderful style of play. There needs to be a marriage of very good players. And you still have to have the marriage of the luck of the injuries. Because let's be realistic. When Liverpool won their league title, we all could say they played their best team. But what was the first thing that they always had? They always had Salah, Mane, Firmino, Fabinho, Jorginho, Wijnaldum, Virgil van Dijk. All these guys were always fit. You understand? The moment all these guys got injured, Liverpool crumbled. This is the same fan base that will tell us that Arteta doesn't change his squad. I can remember when he competed for the league the first time. The same people complain Arteta uses only one team.
Yeah.
I want my best team on the pitch, yes. But I'm also looking at the squad and thinking, for me, the most important thing I wanted from Arteta was give me a certain longevity, right? I don't want to win the league once and go obscure for 5 years. Because look at Manchester United. One moment they had a better season than us. They lose a game to Liverpool. All of a sudden, the league is what is the measure for how good a team is. You understand? Arteta has given me longevity to tell me now, look, the worst we can ever do if we do our 100% is 1 point off of Manchester City, which realistically, if I'm looking at it, that's just fine. Because we have still not tapped into players that we might call our X-factor players, like for me, the Alexander Isak, and I think the opportunistic signing of Jamal Musiala. I think that takes us to a different level. You understand?
I hear you, but
I am looking at it in terms of.
Yeah, so I
please do continue.
I totally agree with you, right? But what I'm saying is, you know, what are the points where it's fine margins? And I think now this season is a season where Arteta should not have any excuses for not winning something. And let me explain why. He needs to start winning something, not just for the sake of himself, but for the sake of the players. Right. And I'll say another reason is this: he has done everything that is needed to do, which is set the club up on the right path. Management is correct in the back end. The backroom staff is great. We can see the energy. The fans are loving Arsenal again. You have fixed all of those things. The only thing that is missing is winning something.
Trophy.
Winning a trophy. That's all that is missing. You can't. Let me tell you something that someone said to me one day. Somebody said this to me one day. The person said, "Oh, I got 97%. I did very, very well. That's an A." The other guy said, "I got 100%." The person that got 97 said, we're more or less the same. We're in the same ballpark now. We both got A's. Do you know what the guy that got 100% said? He said, "You got 97% because that's all you could get. I got 100% because that's all that there is to get.
And I got everything." Which is a fair argument.
Like if there was more to get, I would get that more. We have done everything right now where I feel like Arteta, quality-wise on the squad, the depth of the squad should be such a quality now that you should not be afraid to bring out Kai Havertz and put in Gabriel Jesus. We're not looking at Edin Ketia coming off the bench now against the Bayern in Champions League. We're not looking at risking an Emil Smith-Rowe that might get injured and be out for another 2 months, coming to play that number 8 role or number 10 role. We're not looking at Fabio Vieira coming in anymore. We're looking at a lot more quality, a thinner squad, but a lot more quality. Yeah. So this squad that he has should be good enough for him to win something. He needs to win something because he's done everything else. Like, what else are we asking Arteta to do? There's nothing else we're asking this man to do in this club that he hasn't done. Fans are losing their mind. Arsenal is not profitable.
Very, very,
after paying off, not profitable after paying off stadium. Like, what else are we asking this man to do? The only thing that is left on the list is the trophy. And that's why I said, for me, some managers, and this is where it might be fair to be realistic, some people may be gifted in building a club to that 97%, but may not be gifted, and it's not to any fault of his, to be able to win trophies. Some people just don't have that luck. And I'm not saying Arteta is an unlucky person, but if that is what it is, he might be just that one brilliant coach who's able to do this type of things, but not really get over the line. And it's fair to me to sit down and say, can I get another manager who just knows how to win trophies? Come and use what we have.
Win trophies.
That's like getting an experienced driver and putting him in a Formula 1 car and say, listen, just win this race for me.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
See where my argument is, right? Everybody, do you think another manager will come in? Because this is where it's all well and good when we are talking about trophies. You see, but like you said, what we are talking about is how much we can get, not that there is all that we can get. Because all we are talking about now is, okay, these guys should bring in something, right? Just win a trophy. If we are bringing in another manager to say another manager should just come and win something, this is where my bias is. I'm looking at the manager, everybody is saying, come in and win something. If this guy starts winning just Carling Cup or FA Cups, are we now saying that, what are they calling that? Is he not winning trophies? Because that's what we want.
No.
I know
So
what everybody is talking about.
Efosa, hear me out. Arteta has built a machine that works. If Arteta leaves, the legacy continues, and that's what I like that they've done at Arsenal. So it's almost like, let me use Liverpool as an example. Klopp goes, Slot comes in. Everybody said there'll be a dip off. There might be a dip off. There's many more games to play, but you can see how he's seamlessly. It seems like the handover just seems normal. Like, my thing is, I love Arteta, right? I love Mikel Arteta. I mean, Arsene Wenger is my guy. Arsene Wenger and I share a birthday, October 22nd. We're born on the same day. Like, this is how much, this is how Arsenal is me. Me is Arsenal. If they don't know, they will know tomorrow today. Mikel Arteta, I love the guy to bits. The one thing on his list that he's not been able to achieve yet, which he did achieve in his first year, which I'll have to give to him, is he did win an FA Cup. He has won Community Shields. People don't rate it, but it is part of the game. It is part of the tournament.
Liverpool posted it on their Twitter. Liverpool recognized it.
My thing is, I know that I know he's going up against Pep Guardiola. We saw what's his name come to Chelsea and do it against Pep one season. What's his man's name? Who was they called? Was it not Conte?
Yeah, Conte.
Conte came and did it against Pep in one season.
Conte doesn't.
I know. No. Hear me out. Hear me out. No, hear me out. I'm not saying it. Whatever the circumstances were surrounding how he won it or what happened that year to Pep or what the team was going through, all of that, I totally get it. All I'm saying is, sometimes when you've checked off everything on the list, before you lose the backing of the fans again, and they start screaming Arteta out, and people start protesting, before you start to lose the steam that you have generated, you have to win something, Arteta. If you don't, after this season, watch fans lose their minds, because he's done everything else. This team that he has this season, every single player on this team is his player. Not one of them is from the Arsene Wenger era. There's nobody else from Emery except Martinelli and Saka, who is from our academy.
Martinelli, Saka.
Saka is from the academy, so Saka is Arsenal. Let's not even that's Arsenal's property. But every other person is his player. So I want him to. He has to win something for me this season. He just has to. He has done everything I've asked this man to do. He has done everything I dreamt of Arsenal being. He has done. It's got into a point.
You should win on that trophy.
Because imagine this. I used to say back then, I want to be relevant. I don't like people bantering me. It's got to the point now that when people try to banter me as Arsenal about how they can't banter my football, they can't banter the way my club is run, they can't banter the fact that I'm profitable, they can't banter the fact that I have a manager that is brilliant and everybody knows he's brilliant and he's a genius, they can't banter the fact that my stadium is nice, they can't banter the fact, like, there's nothing for them to banter anymore. The only thing that they can only say against that, okay, now, why have you not won any trophy? And I hate that statement. I don't.
One of you have made a fair argument.
That is, yes, I'm not. But you see, that's where I come from. That's where I come from. I see. I'm not allowing what are I calling it? Unfortunately, a low IQ bomb come and tell me what have I won. You understand? I am also business oriented. If I'm business oriented, why I'm looking at Arsenal is I'm looking at Arsenal in the next 5 to 8 years. And this guy is the future. See, I understand where it comes when we talk about, yes, when you spoke about luck, but also look at time and chance. Anybody can come and tell me Benzema won a Ballon d'Or, but we all know Benzema was never better than Suarez. It was just the time and chance. That is just all it was. Now, where I am coming from is this. In as much as people, I want now the trophy you're talking about. Yes, I want either a Carling Cup. I would love a Carling Cup immediately. I don't know if you understand me. But if I'm still looking at the Manchester Cities and the Manchester Uniteds that have won it in the past few years, I am still asking for a modicum of luck. Because look at the next 3 games we play. Right? Okay, even the next 4. 3 of those games are away. 1 is at home. We play on a Thursday and we play on a Sunday. I'm looking at, I'm not just talking based off of what a fan tells me that they banter me. I'm talking based off of in-depth analysis of who we've played, who we've matched up against, where the location is, where it's not, because as much as I want to look at Manchester City that people tell me to look at, Manchester City had a 10-year head start ahead of me. Now I know Liverpool got to the point where, okay, fine, they were getting to finals when they weren't winning anything, but we all could look at Jurgen Klopp when they were saying, oh, is it time to sack Jurgen Klopp? I was wondering who would come in and do what this guy is doing, because I can't see it. I couldn't see it. Now, what happened? They left Jurgen Klopp a season or two. Jurgen Klopp won the Champions League, won the league, then won, I think, 2 Carling Cups and an FA Cup. Yeah. You understand me? So I'm looking at it and I'm looking at how it is. It's easier for people to say, yes, we are in a top position, but how do we negotiate cups sometimes? It's very important, because Manchester City, you remember when they were winning all those Carling Cups, they had the best squad in England by a landslide. You understand? So it was easier for people to say, okay, you could see Manchester City and their second choice would be on the bench. Now, I was telling Solly some time, I said, it's harder for us when we are competing for the league, because when you look at the fine margins and think, which do I go for? The FA Cup. And now, I'm not saying they are not going for everything. I'm just saying when you get to an impasse, there has to be a sacrifice. We now, it's like for you now, I know it's going to be a difficult one for you to negotiate, but you have to choose one. So at the end of the day, you sink or swim, you do or die. So I feel that's why I say I am not, because I'm looking at the league. I don't see anybody after Pep that is a better league manager in football right now than Arteta. I don't. Not even Xabi Alonso. Because if Xabi Alonso was in this league, God in heaven. You don't know.
No, we schooled Xabi Alonso. We schooled Xabi Alonso now. He was schooled, so there's no he came, he saw, and we conquered him. So I'm not really moved. I'm not really moved.
Evosa has dropped out, will come back very soon. You guys have had a good back and forth.
I hear his argument, and he's correct. He is correct. And it begs me to rethink my position in saying Arteta needs to leave if he doesn't win a trophy.
So let me say, if you don't mind, right? Me and Efosa share the same sentiments, and like I always tell people, I'm open to new arguments and I'm looking at it logically. I see your point objectively, right? That as much as we can see Arteta is doing a fantastic job, even though we don't turn on him, other fans will turn on him very soon. That's why it's very imperative, I think, even though it's the Carling Cup or the FA Cup, to buy more time.
It's not even
to do it.
It's not yeah, you're right. Not just even to buy more time alone. So first welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
It's not just even to buy more time. I was just telling Solomon, I said,
thank you.
I was just telling Solomon, I said that you make a very strong argument, and it begs me to rethink my position about saying Arteta needs to leave if he doesn't win any trophy at all, which I think I will reevaluate based off what you and I have discussed today and go back and look at. But I wanted to just say, like, for me, just because he's done everything on the list, every single thing on the list, like, you can't look at Arsenal right now and say Arsenal is a terrible club. In any ramification.
You can't. No, you can't.
You can't. And based off of that, not winning the trophy, for me, is eventually you're going to have your fans, not opposition fans, the Arsenal fans, turn against you. Right now, if you go to the Emirates, man, the electricity in that place is mad. Teams are afraid to come to the Emirates and play. Yeah. But the longer we are in the trophy drought, when fans get to the point where they stop chanting, they stop cheering, and the stadium is dead, and teams come and teams feel like they can run us over, the players will begin to feel it. It will begin to affect the football we play, to begin to affect the standards that we're trying to set. So what I think needs to happen is there needs to get to a stage where Arteta is in, like, okay, we're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. I'm playing my strongest team. Get me to the semi. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you will do that this season. I think,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the Carabao Cup or the Carabao Cup, you're in the quarterfinals. Play your strongest team. Get me to the semi. We'll come and deal with the semi-finals when we get to the semi-finals. We'll figure out who we're playing, because in the semi-finals we might end up getting the Preston North End, and it's like, okay, now I don't need to play my very strong team. These guys, my second team is good enough to beat a Preston in the semi-final and go on to the final. We saw this with Manchester United, even though it was a tough game for them. Yeah, So my point is, we can change our team and chop our team based on who we're playing in the next round. But just saying that, oh, let's play our weaker team for the League Cups throughout, which is what we've been doing over the years. We always have we always try to play our B team for the League Cup. And
hybrid bid.
Hybrid, yeah. I think we should, based on who we're playing, play your strongest team against them and win those games. If we can make it to the finals of the Carling Cup and the FA Cup, if we lose the league by 1 point, I'm not upset. If we then, because the league, the funny thing is, it is the league. It's possible that you still win it up until the last day. If we then win the league, then we win the league. Fine. But now you're allowing fans be able to say, well, even if it's nothing, we want 2 domestic cups in 1 year.
Yeah.
I want a double in 1 year again. Okay, so let's start again.
Yes, of course.
We can. So my thing, that's where I'm at. And you're right. There is no other manager right now that I can point at and say can come in and be like, oh, I can guarantee a trophy win. There's nobody I can point at like that. But it just got me to the point where I was like, my guy, you've done everything that I've asked you. You've built the house, you've done the foundation, you furnished the house, there's electricity, the AC is cooling, the kitchen is smelling nice, the food is good, everything is done.
Everything is nice.
Then you now serve the food finished, there's now no salt inside. What's going on here?
You destroy morale.
Why is the salt?
You destroy morale.
Same that was why I said I also understood where we were in the league. You understand? Because we played Man City and Liverpool. Those are the 2 teams that knocked us away in the FA Cup. I can stomach those 2 teams knocking me out. I don't know if you understand.
I totally understand. I agree with you.
We've not won. Like, who did you play that you lost to? Yeah, if you look at Liverpool, the only one I can give you was that Liverpool last season. We should have smoked them. But unfortunately,
and that is another thing.
I'm hoping this season for me in the cup competition, we
do well. Yeah, just like with Aston Villa last season. I thought just like with Aston Villa last season, we outplayed them, but they scored the goals. And this is where for me it's like we played Kai Havertz in midfield against Aston Villa. Kai Havertz is good in midfield, but there are certain games that you just don't play him there, not because he can play that role, but no, I would rather in certain games play a different style and just go for the win. Bro, play like Atletico Madrid, score 1 goal and pack the bus.
That's it.
Score 1 goal.
Arteta can do that.
Score 1 goal. After
I think that's where Arteta
if I score the goal, do you know what I'll do? If I score a goal against Man City and it's 55th minutes, let me tell you who I'm going to bring on. Tomiyasu, Ben White, Calafiori, Timber. That's 4 defenders. I will clear that midfield. Odegaard, that's it. I don't need any. See, I don't need any dribbling pocket. Saka, you stay on the right hand side there. Left hand side, you cannot be useless. Left hand side, you to come out. Martinelli, come out. Bring me Merino. Drop him there again. I will not have the Great Wall of China. Let me see you come and check the wall and finish it in that 40 minutes.
Oh, great conversation. Shout out to you guys. This has been fantastic. This is very, very fantastic, man. You guys have actually made this fantastic live stream great. Shout out to Dio. Shout out to Efosa. Like I said, this is kind of conversation I want to have, not some tasteless banter. We can banter, we can have some fun, but let's be witty, let's be sensible, let's argue with the right context and make sure we are actually entertaining and educating and sharpening ourselves. That's how it should be. So shout out to you, Dai, for coming on. I really appreciate you. Shout out to Mr. Efosa, the resident analyst. He's always showing up. Shout out to you. And shout out to everyone that has joined us in this live stream, from Ige to Nick Fadi, to Go With The Flow with your shenanigans. So we all appreciate you. You guys could have had spend your time with different things, but you're here. We actually appreciate you. One more time, you can see the name there, Banter on the page. Please go and support him. Subscribe to the channel. You guys enjoy the brilliant analysis from both Efosa and Daya. I left both of them to go at each other for a while. It was actually brilliant.
This man set us, Efosa, he set us up. He set us up. He knew my position. Me, I told him last time he and I spoke. What did I say to you? So I said if I am the owner of Arsenal, I will give Arteta a brand new contract right now worth 20 million. And if he doesn't win anything this season, at the end of the season, I will pay out the 20 million to him because he deserves it for what he has built for me. I'll find somebody else. And that's I'm trying not to be sentimental about it, because sometimes, like, I remember when I was sentimental about Wenger and I just kept on saying, no, Wenger can still now, and I just didn't want him to, and I started finding myself overlooking what business is. Business is business. Business is business. You have done everything else but win a trophy. You've won one, fair enough. You've won the FA Cup and you won it with the Unai Emery's team that was not yours. That shows me that you know how to win. So now that you have your full team, Mikel Arteta, please, if you watch this stream again, I know you used to come on YouTube. I know.
Definitely, please win.
If you watch this, win a trophy. If you win a trophy, Mikel Arteta, I'm getting on the plane. I'm coming to that parade, and I'm going to dye my hair red. I will grow it and dye it red. I'm telling you.
No, I agree with you that as much as I love him, I don't want him to go, but for his sake of the players and the other fans who might not be as benevolent as us, he needs to at least win a trophy. And the way he has built this current squad shows his intent on winning a trophy, at least a trophy. Yeah. So
he knows how to win. He's won one before, so I know he knows how to win. Exactly. And so I know he knows how to win. He's also won. People say it's a one-off game. Community Shields are not easy when you play teams like Man City and you beat them for it. So
exactly.
Hey, Scott, listen. This voodoo this thing that you keep putting into life. I'm hoping that God is going to hear this prayer tonight. I'm going to call all my family members. They're going to fast and pray. This prayer will not reach this destination. Nobody's getting Arteta.
My counter to go with the flow is that when Arteta was here at Man City, when Man City scored against us, he wasn't even celebrating. What does that tell you? What does that say? Go with the flow. He has never been one of you. He's one of us. Yeah, that's not wrong. True.
I said, do you remember the last game Mikel Arteta played for Arsenal, when the commentator actually said he has been a great captain, he has led this team to an FA Cup victory, he has been amazing, and maybe one day we will see him back here at the Emirates at the helm of affairs.
What a prophecy.
When I went back to watch that game and I listened to the commentary again, I was like, hold on, pause. Did this guy just... Wow. Exactly. I'm like, yep, it came through. It came through.
So I believe he will win something this season. I have that strong conviction. He will win something. He has set up the team in a way that he wants to win. The fact that, if you look at the fact that we have more defenders, come on. That's the inner Atletico Madrid, the inner Simeone and David Moyes of Arteta.
Yeah, of course.
That is about to exploit. So
I'm telling you.
Sorry, finish.
No, bro. Please continue.
So
he was just saying, I'm telling you that it's defense. That's what he was just giving you.
Okay. So I'm happy. We've had a great show. Hopefully, we can do this more often. With Dio, hopefully we can bring Dio here more often. We know you're a busy man, very, very busy. We see other things to do, and you have a life of your own to do. But hopefully, we can bring Dio for the insight and can discuss more often, especially when we play those scallywags at the other side of London. So let's see how much damage you can do on Sunday when we go to their stadium. So guys, do us that kind favor, like the video, subscribe if you're new here. Make sure you turn on your notification bell. One more time, go to Banter on the Pitch. Go and subscribe, like the video, and support him there. So, guys, your last words as we round up this fantastic stream.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Please smash the like button now. Smash the like buttons. Don't behave like Tottenham. Behave like Arsenal. Behave like a well-run club. Smash the like button. Share the video. Subscribe. Yeah. All right, people. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dario. Efforts your turn.
It was an awesome stream. I really appreciate it. People should go and subscribe to Banter on the Pitch. Very logical, one of our own. It's a logical Arsenal fan. Please avoid negative AFTV bombs, please.
I know. We don't put that on the spot. We sometimes we can be overly bold.
No. I have no problem with people being bold about their commentary. I just know that having two alternate opinions about something is very healthy. I think it's a very healthy thing, because it will then let me know where I really stand, in the sense that I find the common ground between those two things first. Is that common ground? That's where I take my own truth from and begin to chart my own line. You know, so
Yes, yeah.
I have a lot of very, very positive Arsenal fans who right now are just emotional. I have a friend who still today is upset about Emil Smith Rowe and said because we sold Emil Smith Rowe, we're not going to win the league. And I'm like, this just
Come
doesn't
on,
make it
man.
like, you know, but you
Yeah.
see, so, but that's for that. And then I have people who are like, so for me, I like it. It's just finding that common ground, and it allows me to be able to, you know, dwell and figure out what I
Navigate, yeah.
because the only time you see me emotional is when I'm watching the game.
Me too.
Like when I'm watching the game
I'll
at
never
home,
do a live stream of watching the game.
yeah,
I will
no,
say something I will regret, so I ain't doing that.
you cannot catch me. You cannot catch me streaming myself watching the game. It's
Nah,
not going to happen
You're not gonna happen to me
because
too.
because the kind of things that I get, the kind of shouts I used to shout,
Yeah,
the
nah,
kind of shouts.
I would not do that.
It's
So,
only
sorry,
me
Mr.
that know, it's only me that know where my blood pressure used to be when I watch the game.
Exactly.
Man.
When I'm on the phone with Mr. Fosa, when I'm watching the game, he knows the way I can get sometimes. So, I might be calm on the stream, but when I'm watching the game, I'm a different bison. A different bison. So, Mr. Wisdom, I'm sorry I forgot to shout you out, Mr. Wisdom. I'm sorry about that. Shout out to you, Mr. Wisdom. You're always here supporting the stream and liking the video. Shout out to you, Mr. Wisdom. I'm sorry. That wasn't deliberate. Don't take it to heart. That was never deliberate. I did not just look hard enough. So, guys, that'll be all for now. Keep supporting us. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.